Hey there, folks, what do we have for you today? It's another episode featuring the BMW E30, the one that's in perfect condition, untouched and unrivaled. We're continuing to transform it into the coolest ride in Ukraine. In our previous episode, I showed you how we installed the ultimate body kit for the BMW E30, the MT2. Many of you mentioned that we needed to do something about the rims. Currently, I've got 15-inch BBS wheels on, which I plan to sell in the future because I've made a decision regarding the rims. We're going with the original R17 BBS rims. Let's take a look at a few shots. Well, as I mentioned before, the rim issue has been resolved, and the new rims have been purchased. This series is going to be highly informative, packed with valuable insights. In other words, it's all about fitting the impossible. Let's take a look at our E30's original BBS rims, which came with a shelf. The shelf was polished and sealed with lacquer, but this was done before my time. So, the rims are in good condition, but there's a catch. They have a 5x120 bolt pattern. You know that all BMW E30s came from the factory with a 4x100 bolt pattern. This means I could reconfigure the suspension to accommodate the 5x120 pattern, but I don't want to do that. I want to weld up the existing 120mm hole and make it 100mm again using coordinates. Right now, I've taken all the bolts and sprayed them with some rust remover. I'll let them sit for a while and then proceed to unscrew them, remove the center, weld up the hole, and bring it to the coordinate machine to create a new 4x100 hole. Honestly, guys, I have to admit, this makes me a bit nervous. But I'm confident that everything will turn out fine. These are the original BBS rims, style 5, with a 4x100 bolt pattern. I know they're quite rare, highly sought after, and in excellent condition with a polished shelf. So, there's no need for any repainting or repairs. Soon, they'll be up for sale. If anyone's interested, feel free to reach out. All my contact information will be in the video description. Now, let's talk about the so-called template. We'll use it on the coordinate machine to measure all the dimensions, including the central hole, the bolt holes, the conical shape, and so on, all directly from this wheel. This machine does real miracles. Hey, guys, to be honest, I was warned earlier that installing these rims on a BMW E30 could be quite challenging without any spacers and whatnot. Now, as you can see, the caliper is hitting the center, but that's something we can solve. Check it out, guys, we need to shave down the inside of the rim so it fits snugly into its seating. In short, our centers are fully prepped, and I've already test-fitted them on the car. They align perfectly. I sent them for sandblasting to remove that burnt paint, and after that, I applied a thick coat of primer. While our centers are drying, I found a team that specializes in rim polishing. They even have a vibratory finishing machine, where you place the rims with some balls, and they shake and polish them. In our case, I just want to polish the shelves and remove the lacquer, as I showed earlier, to make them shine even more. I had a chat with these guys on Instagram, by the way. They go by the name Klim Chrome. I'll leave a link to their page below. They assured me that the result will be outstanding. Let's send them off, and after some time, we'll see what we've achieved. But now, folks, it's time to replace the bulbs in my cool heel black headlights and black fog lights. Currently, there's xenon in there, and it provides decent light for driving, but you know, there's always room for improvement. When you have the opportunity, you should definitely go for Philips LED bulbs. We've used them multiple times on our cars, and I know for sure that the light will be much brighter. Think about it, 5 years of warranty from Philips, guys. That's a masterpiece. But there's one crucial detail: when installing Philips bulbs, they must be perfectly vertical both in the regular reflector and in the lens. That's when you'll get the right light. Right now, I'll be installing these bulbs on my BMW. And for those interested in buying original Philips bulbs, I'll leave a link in the description. Trust me, this is a 100% recipe for success. Here we are, guys, on the highway, testing out the Philips bulbs. I'll tell you right away, it's much better and brighter. I'm really satisfied, and I highly recommend them. I'll leave a link in the description. The high beams, guys, they're simply amazing, incredibly bright. But of course, the car won't be sitting idle. I want to work on the rear suspension. When lowering the car by 60 mm, and when you drift, the wheels are slightly tucked in, which is quite noticeable from the rear, and it doesn't look good. I want to correct this by adjusting the rear wheel alignment. When the car is significantly lowered and you're drifting, the inner part of the tire wears out. However, here, it looks brand new, which isn't ideal. For drag racing, you need a 0 to 100 alignment to get a good grip. To achieve this, adjustable plates are welded here for camber adjustments. And on the other side, there are plates for toe alignment. I've already ordered these plates from the guys, and they look like this. The bolts for them will arrive soon as well. So, if anyone needs more details or has questions, feel free to reach out. This is how everything looks, folks, it's all about that low stance. We hope it all comes together nicely. We've inserted the control arm and tightened everything up nicely here. This hole looks good too. We just need to lower it by a couple of millimeters, tighten it up, and then we'll weld it together with the plate. So, we've finished welding in the plates at all 4 points, and we've done it without any misalignments. Everything fits perfectly, just the way I like it. I won't say it was easy, there were no misalignments whatsoever. In total, we spent the entire day working on these 4 points. Now, I want to press in the polyurethane bushings into the beam. I bought the top-of-the-line polyurethane, I believe it's even German, Powerflex. I'll be replacing them on the beam, the control arms, and the differential. For the differential, I've chosen the black ones, slightly stiffer, while for all the other points, I'm going with the purple ones, which are not too rigid. These are our bushings. Also arms. We are going to start installation now. Everything as it should be. Our beam, you could say, is ready. It's primed and painted with polyurethane paint. Now, about the bolts, you might notice that I inserted them from this side. I know it's not the conventional way, but I did it for convenience, so I can use an open-end wrench here because, from the other side, either the fuel tank or something else is in the way. That's why I couldn't use a socket wrench to tighten the control arms. I'm aware that some might advise against doing it this way, as it might make removing the control arms or changing the bushings a bit more complicated. You'd have to lower the beam and take it out. But I believe it's not a big deal as long as you adjust and tighten it properly this one time, and you have easy access from all sides. Also, here, you can see. I've been advised to use the black, stiff polyurethane bushings for the rear differential. So, the suspension is all assembled now, and it's time to put it on the car. I know you might be wondering why I haven't painted the control arms. Well, I want to test everything first. If it all works flawlessly without any distortions or alignment issues, then perhaps during the winter when the car won't be driven much, I'll take everything apart and have all the bolts zinc-coated and powder-coated for that perfect finish. I've also decided to change the oil in the differential to model 75W140, the blue one. It's top-notch stuff, highly recommended. We've completed the rear suspension, and I must say it's not a simple job, it's very precise and delicate work. Right now, I'm heading to the wheel alignment center, and we'll see if we've managed to set those plates exactly as intended or not. In summary, we've resolved the suspension issue, as I needed to set the camber and toe to 0, perfect for drifting and drag racing. Exactly what I needed. Any moment now, our polished rims will be delivered, and I can't wait to see them. I want to quickly assemble them and get them on the car. Our rims, or rather, the polished shelves, have arrived. I want to remind you that Klim Chrome did an outstanding job. There's a link in the description. Yuri, you're a champ, everything looks fantastic, maximum shine, no scratches or imperfections. I'm really pleased with it. So, for those of you who need to have your rims polished beautifully, check out the link in the video description. Now, we begin the assembly of our beautiful BBS rims, the RC090 model. That's it, folks, our centers are painted. We'll quickly assemble them, put them on the car, and then enjoy this magnificent result. The centers are painted, and we've put everything together. Now we're heading to the tire shop. I've applied some tape to prevent any scratches from the tires. The tires are practically new, from 22 years ago.
Couldn't see it coming. I know that's how they do it. They drag you in just to leave you feeling stupid. Hey, don't call me up. I know.
I will take advantage of the opportunity while my rims, both 17-inch and 15-inch, are off. I want to weigh them and understand how much heavier the 17-inch rims are. I also bought some 225 wide tires for the rear, and this is on the 15-inch rims. I'd like to know the total weight of the assembly with the tires because those 3-8s, they're actually heavy tires. But they provide great grip for a 0-100 run, making them pure semi-slicks. Are 15 with tires. Almost 16 kilograms. BBS R15 rims with 225 semi-slick tires. Approximately 17.8 to almost 17.9 kilograms. And there you have it, folks. The day has finally come, and the rims are in their rightful place. They look incredible on the car. They fit perfectly, and I don't think there will be any rubbing or issues. They sit very snugly. I'm just thrilled right now. We're taking the car to the highway, giving it a spin, and checking for any vibrations. Though I believe everything will be fine. I'll show you the BMW E30 from all angles, it looks fantastic. Hey, guys, I'm on the highway with the new rims, and I'm cruising at 110 kilometers per hour. No vibrations, no issues at all. In a nutshell, the rims have been successfully modified. Even though they're not very old, I was worried that the lips might have been repaired at some point in their life. As you can see, the balancing is perfect. And I didn't really feel that the car became stiffer. It's possible that the fresh tires are softer. I didn't feel it at all. The car itself isn't very soft, but the 17-inch rims didn't make it feel any stiffer. However, the handling, guys, it's like driving a real go-kart on this suspension. Now, I'm going to change the engine oil on my beloved BMW. This time, I've chosen a 10W60 viscosity, a sports oil from Petronas. You know, on all my cars, I only use Petronas oil. I've shown you this several times. The 10W60 viscosity was recommended by drifters and drag racers because it's designed for heavy loads. By the way, they have a promotion going on. If you buy the 10W60 oil in 5-liter containers, you'll get a discount. I'll leave a link to the store in the description. Check it out. So, this is how my beloved BMW E30 looks today. I have some big plans for it in terms of technical improvements. It's almost perfect as it is, with just some minor play in the drive shaft or somewhere in the differential or axle. These are really minor issues that I'll definitely address. I want this car to be absolutely perfect. Now, you might wonder why I haven't switched to a 5x120 bolt pattern. Well, for those who are well versed in building BMW E30s, here's the answer. When you install 5-bolt hubs on the front, the wheel moves slightly forward in the wheel arch. It's not very noticeable, but it's there. I've seen it on some cars. Plus, the offset changes, meaning that the rims, when installed, would slightly rub against something. Here, I've installed 215 wide tires, and there are no issues whatsoever. Nothing rubs on the brakes or the suspension. It's all working perfectly. With 205 wide tires, the brakes would touch the rims, which wasn't ideal. Now, it's much better. You can hit the brakes, and they work great. The braking distance is significantly shorter. In the future, when I decide to sell this car, it will most likely go abroad, to Europe, America, or elsewhere, because I doubt anyone in Ukraine would be willing to pay the price for it. It's fully compliant with regulations, the engine is documented, and it has factory brakes and 4x100 hubs, so it can easily pass inspection. Now, the car looks exactly how I envisioned it. It's just as planned. I do regret that it's not a coupe, as I've mentioned before. Finding a coupe within the past year and a half proved to be quite a challenge. I didn't want to dive into a project, getting a somewhat rusty coupe and restoring everything, from the interior to the engine. It would have taken up a year of my life, and I have work to do. I need to earn a living. However, I cherish this car greatly because, honestly, finding a car like this on the roads these days is nearly impossible. Yes, I know there are people out there who build decent replicas, and they're good machines too. I've met some of them, and I have very positive emotions about those cars. This car gets a lot of attention from people on the streets, whether it's at pedestrian crossings, bus stops, or traffic lights. People often give me the thumbs up, saying, "Wow, that's an awesome car." It really stands out on the road as something unusual. It's low, it's sleek, it's beautifully kitted out, and it's riding on great rims. It's a real eye-catcher. So, that's it for today's video. And, of course, as is tradition, glory to Ukraine. Goodbye, everyone.